welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hun, welcome in general. Today we're going to be doing a book video. Obviously from the title you know that. I've seen a few booktubers do a video like this and it inspired me to do one. So today's video I'm going to be doing like a, if you like this book, bitch, then you're gonna like this one. It's gonna be a good time. It's been a while since I filmed. Because of the recent drama, I'm not going into that, but I need to make a disclaimer before I go into this video. These books that I'm going to recommend are not written for minors to read. And in no way, when I am talking about certain books, am I actually condoning the plot, the storyline, the behavior of the characters in real life. I'm in a long-term relationship. I'm happy in my relationship. I'm confident with who I am as a person. I can read these books and separate the fiction that I read from reality. The reason why I'm doing this disclaimer is because I'm going to be talking about a book that is very controversial, and it's controversial for a lot of good reasons, but even though this book doesn't match my moral compass in real life, I do enjoy this story. You may not enjoy this story and you may have an opinion on it, and that is completely fine. We are all entitled to our own opinions. This channel and this community that I have created is a shame-free zone. We are a sisterhood of sick, twisted bitches that enjoy the taboo and the forbidden. And we know, you know, if you're a follower of mine, that we can separate fiction from reality. And I'm just not into the whole let's tear each other down because we have different opinions. Like, as women, we should stand together, stand strong, even if our opinions do not match. No attacking here. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but Australia is about to pass a very serious law that if you bully or harass anyone online, no matter where you live, you can be thumped with a very giant fine and a criminal charge. And it doesn't matter if you don't live in Australia. I live in Australia. So if you continue to attack me, you're gonna cop it. Anyway, I wanna make this video positive and focus on some good fucking books, okay? Some good forbidden books. Not all are forbidden, but most. There's gonna be a little bit of everything in here. You know, if you like kind of softer romances, if you like darker romances, I've got a little bit of everything. So you're gonna fucking enjoy, all right? Let's get into the video and let's not even focus on the negativity in the world. There's enough of it. All right, so I can't believe I'm doing this. I speak about this book all the time. This is the Off Balance series by Lucia, Franco. The disclaimer that I've just put in this video is to do with this book. I understand a lot of people disagree with this book. I understand that a lot of people don't like this book. I understand that this is very problematic, and it's problematic for good reasons. Regardless of that, I do not condone this relationship that is featured in this book in real life. But as I said in my disclaimer, I can separate the fiction from reality. I know a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people that don't like to speak up on it, love this series. Like, absolutely love this series so much, and for good reasons. Like, the writing is brilliant. The storyline is insane. And I know that for me personally, it's been really fucking hard. Really hard to find a book that is similar to this, that gives me the same feels. Now, obviously, this is a taboo, forbidden age gap between a coach and an athlete. That's why it's controversial. If you're looking for something that is similar to the Off Balance series, something in the way from Jessica Hawkins. Now, these are both series of 5 books, I believe. I have the whole collection of Something in the Way up here, and I also have the whole collection of the Off Balance down here. If you didn't enjoy this book, I know you'll enjoy this book, because this is a taboo, I guess, age gap, but the age gap isn't as large, and this book is not set in the gymnastics world, where this one is, obviously. Something in the Way series has a lot of similarities to the Off Balance series, and when I was reading this, I was like, oh my god, like, this book series has given me all the feels, it's given me all the emotions, it's given me all the frustration that the Off Balance series gave me. So if you've read the Off Balance series, you know that this is angsty as fuck. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this series that makes you so angry. There's a lot that happens in this series that makes you hate the characters. There's a lot in this series that makes you love the characters. And then there's a lot in this series that makes you feel fucking uncomfortable and just weird. It's the same with this. So There's Something in the Way series is about this girl who is 16 years old, and she ends up meeting this construction worker who is in his early 20s, and he is working next door to her house. They end up having a conversation and bond, and there's a connection that develops. Unfortunately for Lake, who is the 16-year-old, she has a 19-year-old sister who is, how do I explain Tiffany? Tiffany is just one of those women that thrive off attention. She didn't do well in school. She's not planning on going to college. She's just one of those girls that like just spends her dad's money and likes hooking up with guys, where Lake's kind of like the opposite. Manning absolutely loves Lake. Even first off the bat when they meet, he knows that there's a connection there, but he knows that their age gap between the two of them is a massive problem. So he chooses not to pursue Lake, even though she wants him to. He wants to be a part of Lake's life, but he knows that he can't be romantically involved with her. So he chooses to get romantically involved with Tiffany, which is Lake's older sister. There's just a lot, a lot of the plot that is very similar. Like both of these books have a marriage in the book. I don't want to give anything away. Both of the main characters' fathers have very similar personalities, and even down to the angst, the frustration, as I said before, and just that emotion where you want to throw the book. It's really rare for me nowadays to come across a series that fully sucks me in, where I can't stop reading it and I'm just like, oh my god, I need answers, I need a conclusion. And these two books make you want to go through the whole series to get your conclusion. Mate, this book is so fucking frustrating to the point where I was like, why the fuck am I even reading this? But so was The Off Balance. So that's why I'm comparing the two, because they're fucking very similar. And I feel like if you have read these two series, you would agree with me. Like I don't know how to explain it. There's just emotions that you feel when you read both these books that are fucking just identical and on point. Like you fucking hate Cobra. You hate this coach. You hate him so much. Trust me, you'll hate Manning. You'll fucking hate Manning. Like, you get so frustrated and so embarrassed for Rhea in the Off Balance series because you're like, you can really see her age. You can really see her age at times. Same with Lake. You see her age and she does a lot of embarrassing behavior and does some things that you're just like, oh my god, you can totally tell that you're fucking 16, hun. So yeah, that's why I suggest you guys, if you've read the Off Balance series, to read this if you haven't. And even if you were interested in the Off Balance series, but it just wasn't your cup of tea, understandable that it wasn't your cup of tea. You know, it's a controversial book. There's a lot of problematic behavior in this book. If you did not enjoy the extent of how forbidden this was, this is a great option. It gives you all of this, but it's just not as taboo and it's just not as forbidden. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have the Fallen Men series by Gianna Darling, which is one of my favorite series of all time. I've spoken about it a million times. It is an MC-based romance series. Each novel is a companion novel. They're all age gaps, they're all forbidden, they're all taboo, and they are all dark romances. So the first one is actually Lessons in Corruption, which is a book about a student-teacher relationship, and it's between a younger man and an older woman, which is something that I don't come across very often. Anyway, this one isn't my favorite. I have Welcome to the Dark Side, Good Gone Bad, and in my bedroom I've got the rest of the series. Anyway, so many people read this series and they ask me like, do you have any other MC-based romances that are similar to this? And the only one that I've read that I enjoyed that is kind of comparable is from Tilly Cole, and that's her series, the Hades Hangman series. So the first book is called It Ain't Me, Babe. I haven't finished the whole series, but I did read, I think, 3 or 4 of the books. Now, I do want to say right now, they are very different. Different plots, different storyline, different characters, but the main connection between the two books are they are dark romances and also the MC club element. Now with Tilly Cole's series, it's super dark, like way darker than Gianna's series. This series is based on obviously an MC club and also a cult. So if you have any triggers when it comes to religion or anything like that, this is one of the darkest series I've ever come across in my entire life. And from my knowledge, I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Tilly actually went and met with cult survivors and people that used to, you know, be in a cult, that are no longer in a cult anymore. She went and sat down and did research and interviewed them and got to know them, and they told her their stories. As I said, a lot of trigger warnings. Sexual assault, rape, abuse, especially with minors, children. It's a lot. It's very gruesome, but it's fucking brilliant. And if you did like the Fallen Men series, but you're looking for something a little bit similar, but not the same, but darker, I would opt for this, honestly. I read the first 3 books within 2 days. Like, I sat down and read them all back to back, and I was like, whoa. And the only reason why I stopped reading them was because it was that dark. I don't really have many hard limits, hun. But with this series, I was like, I beg your fucking pardon. There was something I couldn't stomach. It was really dark for me, which is very rare. I did actually do a reading vlog. I filmed myself reading the first book, so I'll link that up here somewhere, or down below in the down bar if you want to watch it after this. Next up, we've got the Devil's Night series from Penelope Douglas. This is book 1 called Corrupt. This is one of my favorite series I've ever read. I actually haven't finished it. There is the last installment and the novella that I need to read. Pretty much it's about this group of guys who ended up getting locked up a few years prior to when this book starts. And they get out of prison and they go after the woman who caused them to get locked up. And it kind of goes from there. If you've read the series, again, you would know all about this. I found it really hard to find anything that is comparable to this series, but the one series I did find, I was like, ooh, I'm getting like Devil's Night vibes, and that is the Elite Kings Club from Amo Jones. So this is the first installment called The Silver Swan. The plots are completely different, like completely different, but there is elements to both these series that do connect and are very similar. And as I said, the Elite Kings Club series definitely gives me Devil Night vibes. Like full on, like that dark, gritty kind of suspense kind of. It's dark romance, alpha males, you know, kind of like the whole bully situation. Yeah, I definitely connect these two and see them as similar, even though the plots are completely different. And I know if you liked Devil's Night, you'll really, really, really like the Elite Kings Club, and vice versa. If you've read this but haven't read that, you'll definitely enjoy that series if you haven't read this. Am I making sense? I don't fucking know, hun. I haven't filmed in a couple of days and I feel real weird. Before we move on to the next, I need to clear the air just a little bit. With all this drama that has happened as of recent, I'm not getting involved online on my channel talking about it. It's in the past. But like, people were attacking me for my appearance. And I'm confident with who I am, and I'm confident with my appearance. So when people like attack me for how I look, I'm just like, sorry, fucking what? Like, who are you looking at? Because I don't find any issues with this. Like, someone fucking literally came for my teeth and told me that I need to get my teeth done, and I was like, all right, okay, if you guys think that I need to get my teeth fixed, I'll create a GoFundMe down below if you're that fucking worried about it, and you can actually fund my dentist appointment yourself. In Australia, hun, it almost costs a fucking organ to get your fucking teeth done. Like, I'm not about to make a deal with the devil. You know what I mean? I'm not about to sell my soul or like a functioning organ. Like, I need this shit. I need this shit. So if you're that fucking concerned, GoFundMe down below, you know what I mean? If you really, really want to fucking offend me, you've got to dig a bit deeper. You've got to really fucking dig a bit deeper than like my appearance, because that's like so irrelevant. Like, I look in the mirror every morning and I feel completely fucking fine about myself, you know, completely fine. And it's just bizarre. I think women, we are just bizarre creatures, and I find it really hard to comprehend how in this day and age we are still ripping apart each other via our appearance. Like, these people that are trying to promote you know, and normalize different bodies and different people's appearances and different features and stuff like that. And we're trying to promote this whole like everyone's beautiful no matter what we look like. But yet they go into battle with other women and the first thing they go to is their appearance, and they rip them apart and they attack them for it. And it just makes no fucking sense. It just makes no fucking sense. Like, if you don't agree with my fucking opinion, I totally understand. That is valid. You have a valid point. But don't attack me for my features. Like, I can't control what I fucking look like. Hun, you don't seem very confident in yourself, so why are you going out of your way to do that to someone else? You wouldn't like being on the receiving end of that, so why are you giving out that behavior? Like, it's just bizarre. The world's fucking bizarre. Anyway, I just had to rant for a little bit then. I'm trying not to go into detail about the whole thing, but I'm just getting like really, I feel like in this day and age, you can't fart without someone like attacking you. You can never fucking win. You can never ever fucking win, and you can jump up and down and try and prove that you're not a shit person, but at the end of the day, like, you can't please everyone, and I understand that, but like, can we stop shaming one another? It just makes no fucking sense to me. Like, how are we meant to better the world? How are we meant to improve the world that we live in? And how are we meant to improve how other people view women if we're still fucking attacking one another and we're still degrading each other and being so catty and malicious towards one another? Like, it makes no sense. Changes, my loves. We need to make changes. Okay, so I don't own these two books. Tilly Cole's 1,000 Boy Kisses and Underneath the Sycamore Tree. Now, so here's the images of what these two covers look like. I don't want to go in too much depth about these books because it kind of gives away the plot. But if you've enjoyed 1,000 Boy Kisses, I know for a fact you're going to enjoy Underneath the Sycamore Tree and vice versa. There is definitely elements in both of these stories that are similar. So I recently read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover because all of you guys were telling me to read it, and it is such a good book. One of my favorites, and I said this in my last video, or was it the video beforehand? I feel like every woman needs to read this book. Anyway, if you have read this and you want something that's kind of similar, but not, there's a bit of a love triangle situation in this book. There's no cheating, but there is a love triangle. If you want something that's gonna pull at your heartstrings like this one did, break your heart to a point where you don't know how it's going to mend, even if it hurts by Marnie Man. Very different, but also similar at the same time. Love triangle. This book made me bawl like no other book has ever made me cry before. So many people expected me to cry with this one. I didn't, but I did with this one. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this. I've mentioned this book a million times before. This is Mr. Masters by T.L. Swan. Oh my god, one of my favorite fucking books of all time. If you want some steam, hun, if you want to have a good time, if you want to laugh, if you want to feel emotions, if you want to get angry, frustrated, just have a good old fucking time, you need to read this book. But recently I read another book that had the single parent trope. If you didn't know, this is like a nanny trope. I read this book the other day and I like instantly connected it to Mr. Masters, and I was like, oh my god, I loved this book because it was similar to Mr. Masters but just done in such a different way. So this is Happily Letter After by V. Keelan, or is it Vi Keeland? I'm not too sure. And Penelope Ward. Oh my god. One of my favorite reads of this year so far. I loved this book so much. It was just fucking beautiful, really humble, and it's just brilliant. It's about this girl who works for this magazine, I think, and she does the Santa column. Anyway, this little girl contacts Santa, and this woman ends up reading all these letters from this little girl, and she starts going out and making her wishes come true. Yeah. This little girl lives with her single father, and it goes from there. I laughed, I felt all the feels, the smut was there, the steam was there. It was such a good read. very, very, very comparable. I've already planned to do this again. I've already matched up enough books to do another video like this, so I'll do that in like a month or so, you know, just split up the content a little bit so I'm giving you something different every week. But yeah, these books, as I said, they're comparable, but they're not exactly the same, which I like. I don't like reading books that have the exact same plot, if you know what I mean. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.